Hey guys, so I want to come on here and talk about this story. And the reason why I want to talk about this case, it's a petty case, but it points out something because this involves another black man and a white woman, in which you have her putting her feet on his tray. And this was on United Airlines. And mind you guys, usually I travel alone. I do not travel United Airlines, and I would advise you guys not to either. The only airline I usually fly is Delta, okay? I try to go Delta and maybe Alaska or Virgin Airlines, okay? Those are the ones that I have known to have the least drama. United is trash, and I wouldn't fly there even if they gave me a free flight. So in this scenario, and the thing of it is, whenever I see something happen like this, because it says, the audacity of white privilege, black man says United Airlines flight attendant offered the woman seated next to him $1,000 voucher to take her feet off the tray table. Now, let me explain something to you. When I first saw this story, and I read over this, I read over this article because I wanted to see how right I was. Because whenever something like this happens, you have to understand that these cavelings, they won't just do this to anybody. They'll do it to whoever they think that they can do it to. On my flight back, when I just got back on Thursday, I sat next to two white women. Neither one of them even attempted to put their feet on my tray table. In fact, they went out of their way to make sure nothing of theirs was in my space and it wasn't touching me. I've sat next to white men. I've sat next to other people. None of them have ever done anything this disrespectful to me. I've had one incident on United Airlines where a white woman decided that she was going to get in my business, okay? She decided she was going to get my business as the plane landed. Because when the plane lands, I'm trying to get off. I'm not trying to sit there and wait for everybody to slowly get their baggage out of the overhead trays. So my thing of it is that if she got in my business, she got cussed out. When we got off that plane, she was asking for forgiveness. I'll tell you that. Now, I've said before, if you have an encounter with a caveling, usually it's because they perceive you to be a passive person. And as we go through this, you're going to see, I saw that I was right, and this black man was very passive. It's interesting, though, because the black man is becoming so passive by and large, and a lot of them will say, oh, these dusty beta males, like I've had them in my comments say, don't generalize all black men, these dusty beta males, they don't represent all black men. Yeah, they do. They do represent all of you, because in the eyes of other people, when they see an influx of passive, dusty beta male activity online, all these viral videos where you have these black men doling out these forgiveness, I'm sure they saw that video of the black man in Spain who got hit over the head by the white woman. They're seeing all this passivity. They're not going to differentiate between one black man and another. All of you are just one. One of the only things I agree with Tariq is when he said one big nigga. That's what they see you as. All of you are the same, bottom line. So she's seen all this black passivity. She's seen all this praise for white women. She's thinking she can do this. I don't see her doing this to a black woman, by the way. I don't see her doing it to a black woman. A lot of these things where these women will do these things to black men, they wouldn't do it to a black woman. They surely wouldn't. Let me tell you, she wouldn't have put her feet up there. I would have knocked her feet off if she did. And then if they had something to say, it would have been a problem. But we're going to go through this article so you can see this dude's passive response to it. Unfortunately, I was right in this situation. I didn't want to be. But like I said, if they do these things to the right people. They do it to the right people, because it's not going to happen to me. I know that. A black man flying on United Airlines said a flight attendant offered a white woman $1,000 voucher to take her feet off the tray table, blasting the incident as the audacity of white privilege. So do you know what $1,000 flight voucher can get you? It'll get you a first class ticket and then some. So she's sitting here putting her nasty cave feet on a tray table that somebody has to eat off of. And a way to placate her is that United Airlines offers her a $1,000 voucher. Now, United said they didn't offer her that. I don't believe them. Frederick Joseph tweeted on Tuesday about the incident, which he called one of the most epic white privilege moments in history, on a United Airlines flight from Austin, Texas to New Jersey, Newark Liberty Airport, okay? United Airlines denied that it offered or gave the woman the voucher. The audacity of white privilege. The woman next to me took her shoes off and placed both feet on the table. Joseph wrote in the first of 9 tweets attaching a picture of the woman's sock-clad foot languishing on a tray table. Now, let me tell you, this is a blatant disrespect. The fact that she took her shoes off while she's sitting next to him is blatant disrespect. Wouldn't happen to me. I've never seen this happen to anybody. So again, the reality of it is that she was getting real passive vibes off of him, the fact that she even thought she could do that. But she probably felt like, because you have a lot of black men out here praising white women, she probably felt like he feels like he's just fortunate enough to be around her. So of course she can do whatever she wants to. And the thing of it is black men, when I make these videos, they'll be like, oh, well, you just hate black men. This is what the results of your passivity is. This is the results of you not checking coons and not checking beta males and making excuses. This is what happens. And it'll continue to happen. So these were his tweets. And, you know, he's a public figure. So again, of course, it's going to go viral. But he said, the audacity of white privilege. This woman next to me took her shoes off and placed both feet on the table. So I'm waiting for the flight staff to say something. The flight attendant says, well, what if she puts her feet closer to the window or puts one down? The woman says, if I put one foot down, I want to be accommodated for accommodating him. The bold audacity of this, I want to encounter a woman like this, just to make an example of what really will happen. But they're not going to do that because, again, this woman might do this to this black man. She's not going to do it to a black woman. So the flight attendant speaks to the person in charge on the plane, and they promise this woman a $1,000 voucher, $1,000. Basically, United had a woman with a Spanish-sounding surname tell me there should be no issue because the woman ended up not getting the money. Oh, and racial bias didn't matter here because, again, a woman with Spanish-sounding name at United says it didn't. Tone deaf. Look, Spain is in Europe, okay? So a lot of people seem to think that this Spanish-sounding name or Hispanic somehow means non-white. It doesn't. If it is a Spanish-sounding name, that means 100% white, considering Spain is in Europe. So, again, they'll do this to whoever they feel like they can do that to. Because, again, she won't. So this is him at South by Southwest. So clearly he's a public figure. Joseph wrote that he was irate because no black person would ever get away with this shit and waited for a flight attendant to say something to the woman. But when the flight attendant ignored the clear violation of airplane etiquette, he took it upon himself to rectify the situation. I say, ma'am, I'm trying to eat and your feet are next to my... let me tell you. Really? There is no possible way you're putting your nasty cave feet with those disgusting bunions. I don't care if you have them covered up. You're not putting them next to anything. Again, wouldn't happen to me. She says, what do you want me to do? The seats are small, Joseph tweeted. So she already knows she's dealing with a passive plantation bug. Extremely passive. So I'm like, I understand, which is why there's room for your feet and legs under the seat in front of you. So she says, this is why I fly first class and I don't come back here with everyone else. So I'm like, that's great. So are you going to put your feet down? See, the fact that he's sitting here placating her, and the end be like, bitch, I would have been slapped her feet, but again, she wouldn't put her feet up there if it was me. Joseph then wrote that as soon as he said that, the woman called the flight attendant and told her that this man is disrupting my flight. I'm just trying to be comfortable. After Joseph explained his issue with the feet on the tray table, the flight attendant apparently suggested that the woman move her feet towards the window or put a foot on the floor. The woman then supposedly said, if I put 1 foot down, I want to be accommodated for accommodating him, at which point Joseph said the flight attendant offered her a $1,000 voucher for her trouble. Upon hearing the incredible offer, Joseph asked the flight attendant, what voucher will I be receiving for my suffering, prompting the flight attendant to apparently say, sir, we can only make with so many accommodations, and she has agreed to move her feet for you. Again, they know when they're dealing with a passive plantation bug. And that's what he is. This, I'm telling you, this black male passivity is the death of our community, because you don't have men anymore. And look, a lot of people would think this dude is a good man. A lot of people will say, oh, he's a man, he's a warrior. Would a warrior be letting a white woman disrespect him like this? It just wouldn't be happening. Joseph's tweet quickly went viral, with people tweeting at United asking if it's the airline policy to reward passengers with high-value vouchers for practicing common courtesy. The day after he tweeted about the incident, Joseph, a marketing professional and philanthropist, posted an update saying that he had received a call from a United representative who claimed that the woman was not, in fact, giving any vouchers as compensation. It doesn't matter. They should have did something to compensate this dude. But the thing of it is he's a plantation bug. And let me tell black people something. The problem with black people is not holding them accountable for their racism. I'm in the process of holding a company accountable for their racism. And as soon as I get this dealt with, I might come on here, probably for Patreon people only, and explain the process to you guys. Not holding them accountable for their racism, even in the slightest, is the biggest problem that black people have. Just this passive mindset and lax attitude towards blatant discrimination. But you guys have yet to hear his passivity. Let's go more. Joseph had created the fundraising hashtag Black Panther Challenge, which was raised more than $400,000, which goes towards sending children to see the hit movie in theaters. Okay. Now I want to come down to here. United confirmed this in a statement to Newsweek that read, "At no point was any customer offered compensation for this issue." Now, so basically they're calling him a liar. They're calling him a liar as if he wasn't sitting right there to know. But again, this is a passive plantation bug. So if you thought he was getting a lawyer to sue this airline, you're sadly mistaken. Joseph tweeted that while he was happy to hear the airline did not compensate the woman for her behavior, he was still unhappy about the fact that attempting to momentarily pacify her, the flight attendant created a negative situation for me and took her side. He also said he told United rep that, "I find it hard to believe if this was a person of color, someone wouldn't have asked her to put her feet down." The rep then apparently said, "Sir, I personally don't believe it has anything to do with race or culture. As you can hear from my last name, I am a Hispanic person." The retort prompted Joseph to note that her response implied that racial bias didn't matter here because, again, a woman with a Spanish-sounding name at United says it didn't. He then called the airline's response tone deaf. In an interview with Newsweek, Joseph revealed that while he didn't think that he personally had been discriminated against. Now, this is how passive and brain dead this coon is. He just said in one statement that if this was a person of color, or if it was him, they would have made him put his feet down, but they're not doing that to the white woman. That's called discrimination. So you have bucks out here and passive plantation slaves who don't even know when they're being discriminated against, and this dude is a marketing person, and he doesn't even know when he's been discriminated against. Really. Even if there had been any intention of giving her a voucher in the first place, Joseph said, by making the offer in the first place, you have aligned yourself with what she's saying and what she wants, which is tantamount to having given her the voucher. If his story hadn't gone viral, he would never have been told that the voucher was not handed out and would have been home thinking this woman got this money. Joseph's tweet received 1,400 comments and was retweeted 6,600 times by Thursday. On Wednesday evening, look, again, United is always here, but nobody is ever doing anything. Okay? It was also revealed that United had accidentally flew a 10-year-old German Shepherd from Oregon to Japan instead of to its actual destination of Kansas City, Missouri. Why are people even flying United? Authorities revealed Wednesday that they have launched a criminal investigation into the death of a French bulldog puppy that suffocated on the United Airlines flight from Houston to New York after a flight attendant reportedly insisted that the puppy be placed in the overhead storage compartment during the flight because its carrier wouldn't fit under the seat. Again, passivity. Okay? And then this dude says, well, whatever, he's over the situation. So this is what black passivity is doing. Black people are just as much, if not more, responsible for the continuation of white supremacy as white people are. Because when you sit up here and you let them do these things unchecked, then you're complicit. You're more complicit in it, because you can't sit here and complain about injustices and then give it a pass. Nobody's holding them accountable. How do you think racism is going to end if you're not holding them accountable for being racist? You're going to ignore their racist actions, don't give them a consequence, but then ask for racism to end. That's like a person being in a relationship and saying, oh, I want you to change your bad behavior, but if you don't, there's no consequence. I'm still going to stay with you. I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to be around. You're still going to get all the benefits, but I want you to change. But just know that if you don't change, there's not going to be any consequence. How likely is it that that person in that scenario would change? They're not going to. They have no motive, no incentive to, and neither do these white supremacists, because black people don't hold them accountable. Y'all can sit here and not hold them accountable. I'm holding them accountable. You do the slightest thing to me. Again, on the flight, the white woman on United, all she had to do was verbally mind my business. She didn't even lift a finger. She verbally minded my business. That was a problem. And yes, I made it about race, and I told her on that plane full of people, you don't have any slaves. So right there, I made an example to every white person on that flight that should you mind my business, it's a problem. Now, I bet you she won't do that to another black person. And I bet you the white people on that flight might be weary about doing that to another black person, or they'll do it to a black man, but they won't be doing it to a black woman. Because she's not going to get in my business and you think you go try to check me? That's why she was apologizing and asking for forgiveness, which she didn't get, because I don't forgive white supremacy. I don't. So she could go jump off a plane for all I care, and then that will be justice to me. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you for your support. I'll see you in the next one.